We're live. Hooray. Good evening, everyone. I failed. I didn't put in the logo shot. This is Armchair Dragoons Saturday Night Fights. And as is usual, we're just going to get a little bit of shameless self-promotion going before we get started. But first we should say hello to everybody that has joined us this evening. We once again have Vance. Hello, Vance.
Hello.
Hello, Doug.
Hello.
Hello to everybody that has joined us this evening. And we have OJ's dad, who's decided that he's not going to play, but he's going to kibitz. How you doing?
Good evening.
It's always nice to have our extra guests from the forums. As I say, what I usually do here is, since I've been involved in a bit of a Twitter conversation, it's been actually a very nice conversation. And in the spirit of playing the games you love with people you like, Armchair. Help if I could spell armchair. Getting ready for Saturday Night Fights. Here we are. Tweeted. Shutting down Twitter. Going to Facebook. Talking to nice guys at Wargamers. Wargamers. Oh my goodness. Brandt is now playing live video of him at the Red Hat Amphitheater with a group named Trombone Shorty. I am fairly convinced that's a made-up name.
No, it's not.
You're familiar with them?
No, he posted a song from them on the site. They're not bad. You get some pretty high lag numbers there, OJ.
Is he? Are you on the wrong side of the moon again?
Yeah. AT&T's lightning fast 4G service.
All right. Let me turn all this nonsense off. I want to see if... I just want to make sure I'm watching... Hey! Beat Cafe is in early tonight. How you doing? How many viewers we got already? 4 already. Very nice. All right, let's play a game so that people stay. We're going back to Teugn-Hausen, which is one of the preliminaries to the Battle of Abensberg and, of course, ultimately to Eckmühl. We have squared off our guy Doug as the French over here, and we've got Vance over here as the Austrians. The story is it's one of the rare true meeting engagements in the history of warfare, really. They don't come that often. And this was definitely one of them, where the two sides sort of stumble into each other and the result goes a bit back and forth. I guess the biggest thing I will observe as we make our way through this is that I was here about 3 weeks ago now. And I want to tell you a couple things about the battlefield that have informed my opinion of the rules, which actually comes out pretty favorably. Number one, you see this little area over here? This is the village of Reuth, and it's actually not even a village. It's a farmstead, and it still is. Now, it's much more modern now. They even have solar panels on the roof of the place. My wife and I parked our car right here-ish, right up north of Teugn, and crawled up this way through these trees. I'm going to talk about that in a second. And came hooking through these trees, making our way to Reuth. First of all, I wound up basically in these nice people's backyard. I am grateful for the fact that their dog was on a leash.
About the pig.
Yeah, did you meet the pig?
There was a pig barn, which was wonderful. If I would have not... I already was pretty sure I was trespassing. So I didn't want to go any farther than that. But this is a little bitty thing. But if you follow the battle on the ground, the sweeping move, and Doug is evoking it here with this attack, is a much bigger deal than I had first given it credit for. The other thing is, and this is something that I think I may actually wind up writing a small piece about for the Armchair Dragoons website, we just do hills wrong. We just do hills wrong. These trees, this little nodule of trees that stick out from this overall treed area, this incline right here, roughly where the 3rd Battalion of the 10th Light and the 1st Battalion of the 10th Light are getting ready to march up to take on the Peter Varden Grenadiers, this is a serious hill. This is really, really steep. And
So a steep incline, but how high?
It's my guess is probably 20 feet.
Okay.
20 to 30 feet. It's up there. And it happens over a very short distance. Now, obviously things change in 200 years, but it's amazing when you walk around it with a map and sort of overlay it between the maps I was carrying and Google Maps. Yeah, I have the best wife on the planet. She's running around with Google Maps going, no, show me that. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. We're doing all this comparing stuff. It's actually pretty close to this day to what this still looks like. And if you'd have told me, and Doug and I have had this conversation on numerous occasions, particularly at Jena, if you'd have told me as a member of the 10th Light to go up the hill into these trees and find these guys, because I will guarantee you, I had my son stand 2 to 3 feet inside these trees, you can't be seen. So if you're going to tell me that I'm coming up this incline to go dig out some sharpshooters that I can't see, I'd have told you to go straight to the devil.
Yeah.
You know, it is indicative of that battle that that was crazy to see, just how steep this incline still is. This whole area, the Buchberg, which is this piece right down here, and the larger berg that runs this way, this incline is still it's steep is what it is, and you can see at the Hausnerberg, and you can look at a lot of that too. The monument to the battle, which is remarkably difficult to find, I drove past it twice, is sitting right down here-ish off the side of the road. But that's it. Let's go over the rule thing that I have to confront. They change, and this is, I don't apologize for this, they changed the rules for contact in melee between 1st and 2nd edition. In 1st edition, it was what I read, that you can make contact in a melee with more than one person if you fit. You can't anymore. They just decided it got too complicated and too messy, and not in the spirit of Black Powder. Melee is 1-for-1, with the notable exception of artillery. If it's like this, you can contact it. Right there. See this guy right there that's attached at the edge? In addition, it also works for tiny and small units, if they fit. But regular-sized units can't do it. The other one is, skirmishers have changed. In 1st edition, skirmishers got a +1 to shoot. They don't get that anymore. So fairly well, the advantage that the Austrians get as poor skirmishers, or the disadvantage, really no longer counts. You can enter open order. They can still shoot from wherever they are. They pick their target, but that bonus that they would have gotten has been erased. So, yes, I was confused, but that's because they made changes between 1st and 2nd edition, and I am now sitting here with my 2nd edition by my side. With all that as a way of prologue, I believe we say it is now the 4th turn, and it is Vance's turn.
Yes. Now I have to try to remember what I was doing.
I don't think you knew at the time, but go ahead.
Well, that's quite possible as well.
I think that you were marching.
Well, those guys in the back were definitely marching. Alright, I'm just relocating all my guys. Nobody's near their commander, of course, because we've been doing maps and things.
And, well, let's remember, and actually this is going to be piquant, we begin with initiative moves.
Mm-hmm.
And initiative moves are free moves if you choose to make them. And anybody that's within 12 inches, right? You know, that's what you've got to look out for. So these fellas here, I'm pretty sure these fellas here. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So what they do, you can make other moves if you want, but you've also got the free initiative moves you want, which include, you've got other options if you choose to take them. I don't know what you want to do, but you should consider those initiative moves first.
Yes. So the 9th Petter Warden are not going to move. They're going to enjoy their height advantage.
And in fairness, they can't because, well, they could move forward. They're disordered.
Disordered. Now, so his 2nd Battalion, 3rd line.
Yep.
Over here with the disorder.
Yep.
If I charge him out of these buildings.
Uh-huh.
And go fisticuffs with him.
Uh-huh.
Is he at a disadvantage for being disordered?
Yes. Well, he's at a couple disadvantages, actually. Number one is his fire as you come in will be somewhat limited because he is not in line. He's in column.
Yes.
And then when the melee comes upon him, you will find that disorder works against him, both in the combat itself and, if I recall correctly, if there should be... Yes, he also pays a penalty on his break check. So yes.
He's also got lots of support. Too.
Yeah. Oh, yes, he surely does.
He's got the 3rd Battalion 3rd and the 1st Battalion 3rd back there.
Yes, to be shaken or disordered, not both, but to be shaken or disordered is a -1 demerit in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, so I think I'll just sit there and shoot at him.
There will be shooting. Very good.
And that leaves the 1st Battalion 7th Schroeder.
I'm sorry, where are you? Over there you are.
Here.
Yeah.
They're within 12, right?
Yep.
Now, he's got rear and side support again.
He does. He actually has... That unit has support to his left, his right, and his rear.
And we do not.
You have it to your left. I believe it depends if that's within 6 inches or not. I don't know. To your left, but certainly you have it to your right, and you do not have it to your rear.
Yeah. All right. I think they'll just stand there and shoot away as well.
There will be shooting.
Now the 3rd Battalion. 7th Rifles, or 7th Schroeder, is also within 12. And I can advance through these gentlemen here, correct?
As long as you... Let me see which fellows you're pointing
As long as I fully clear them, right?
And that's to say, you're saying if you're asking... Well, remember, these gentlemen are going to be very limited in their moves because they're in the trees.
Because they're in the bush, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so because these guys are so close to his guys, I can't withdraw them. It says what this.
No, initiative doesn't say that you can't withdraw. It just let me. Let's see here.
Because they're a little bit beat up.
They are. That's right. It is with a tweet. They can make any move, but they are limited to the key with an initiative order. You do it before any commanders issue orders.
Yep.
Unit can use your initiative if there are enemy units within 12 inches. A unit using its initiative moves just as if it had received an order. In most situations, the unit can move in any fashion the player wishes, but the unit is limited to a single move.
Right. So they couldn't get out of the way anyway. Well, no, because their regular move is 12, correct?
Correct. So they're going to move 6.
They tried to move 6 back in the bush. Yeah, we can't clear. Oh. No. We can't clear them.
Nope.
And the same problem with these guys. Can't clear them.
That's correct.
So that's kind of a mess. All right. So no, there are no initiative moves.
Very good.
Now, about getting commanders to get your units to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get to move your commander first and attach him to something? Is that how that works?
Nope. The commander's move is the last thing you do.
Ah, okay. Right. And as soon as he fails an order, he's done.
Yep.
All right. So we'll. Kaiser, GM Kaiser,
There he is.
is.
Very nice.
Is it from
Top of his head to the nearest point.
to the nearest point of any
Yeah.
of the troop?
No, if he's giving a brigade order, it's the worst one.
It's the worst one. So 16. What's 18?
Well, if Kaiser's doing it, I mean, the worst one is gonna. You're not. It's a -1. That's the worst.
Right. Okay. So yeah, we're giving a brigade order.
Okay.
Battalion. Yeah, brigade order here.
Yep. What are they gonna do?
For these guys to what?
To unmess themselves.
To unmess themselves. All right, I want these 3 battalions in a line abreast and jammed in here.
Well, it's unlikely they'll all fit. In fact, I think you're going to get 1 in there. Let's have a look here.
No, not in line. Not in
column.
line.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Stay in column,
Got it.
but all piled up one next to each other here.
Got it. What are you going to do
I
with
can
the gun?
actually only get 2 of them to do that.
I was going to say, what are you going to do with that gun?
Thanks for reminding him.
Sorry. I mean, but he's going to move that and then wonder what he does with the gun.
I know.
No fair 2-on-1.
I'm sorry, Vance is doing an excellent impression of the Austrian High Command.
Yes. Waffle, 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 waffle.
Okay, 1.5-on-1.
Waffle.
I changed my color from spectator to red, and also my ping times went down.
That's okay. Let's do that then.
Because the red ones go faster.
Well, I couldn't even do the measurement tool as a spectator.
Oh, that's true.
That sucked. So I'm gonna play as the pig.
Very good. OJ's dad is the pig. What's up, pig?
Okay, so I've changed my mind again.
Very good.
Waffle, waffle, waffle.
That is definitely Austrian of you.
Okay. The 57th Colorado.
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 Yep.
Yep. What a frickin' mess.
You were so excited to get him up here.
Well, yeah. They haven't actually moved very far in the whole battle.
Mm.
Yes. So, 2nd Battalion. It's the first one here.
Yep.
And these guys are going to follow. So it's going to be 2nd Battalion, 1st Battalion, 3rd Battalion.
Sure.
So 2nd Battalion is going to stay in column like
Mm.
this
Yes.
and line up here.
Yes.
And then 1st is going to be behind him, and
Yes.
3rd is going to snuggle up behind him.
All right.
That's a valid brigade
Yes.
order, correct?
Oh yeah. That's-
All
y'all-
basically the same thing?
Actually, that sounds very Austrian to me. All you guys stay in column and go roughly that way.
Yes.
So you need to roll a 6 or less.
And the further I get from 6, the better it
The
is.
lower you go, the better you are.
On 2 dice.
Correct.
And that would be a 7.
Nope. Nothing. They're stuck.
So, Field Marshal is right next door to him. I'm going to smack him in the back of the head.
Yep.
Try that again.
Go for it.
Even worse.
Yeah. Oh, mercy.
All right.
Biba.
Beavers. Beaver. 20th and the 38th.
Yeah.
They're all in column, so they get this one free move straight ahead.
Correct. Correct. You can't, for the fellas that are in the weeds, you can't do any better. You're just looking to avoid the blunder.
Right.
For this dude, he's got the prospect for a chunk of movement.
Right. And the cannon, which is out front here.
Is that? Oh yeah, that's Bieber's gun. Very good.
So yeah, Beaver is ordering his gun to unlimber beside the 7th Schroeder, 1st Battalion here.
So move up there and unlimber.
But yeah, and point at the Frenchies over here.
You need an 8 or less.
That's a 6.
That's 2 moves, so you will be able to do both. So since it's what you wanted to do, just set up the gun and put the artillery, put the limbers behind it. And we typically say about 3 inches back, so it's...
So they're over here.
Yeah,
They're
facing
over
the
here
wrong.
somewhere.
I will just face them the wrong
Oh,
way.
back way.
Yeah.
All right, so that worked.
Yes, it did.
Now the rest of these yahoos, except for the 1st Battalion,
Okay.
First Battalion wants to march and stay in column and come up next to Bieber.
You're saying and stay on the road or no?
No.
Okay.
No. Wants to end up right here.
Because march column on a road or track is a +2 to your command.
Yeah, well, that puts them over here.
Yep. All right. So it's just a +1 then. But he is assuredly at least 12 inches away. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a wash, 7 or less. Perfect.
It's a 7.
And they're not unreliable, so that just works. 12 inches. Oh, we got 8 people watching. Hey, everybody watching, come on, we're going for double digits tonight.
And then these yabos all shuffle forward 6, right?
You've got to roll for if you got to
Oh,
roll
yeah, I gotta
for them
roll for it,
separately
yes.
because you've got to avoid the blunder.
Yes.
And you do.
Avoided.
So that's 6 inches. You just want these guys to shoot straight forward?
Yep.
Oh, here Here they come, all right. Telling you, the trees in this area are thick. Anyway.
So, Liechtenstein
Our guy over
orders
here.
his artillery
Mm-hmm.
to move and unlimber right next to this tree.
What's his move limbered? It's going to be halved.
Yeah.
So... And he can only have the one move anyway, I think.
Oh, right, because he's in the trees, right?
Yeah. So it's 9 inches. Just avoid the blunder.
Okay.
And you do. Get that tree out of your way.
So. Oops, not quite there yet.
There you are.
Okay.
And these lads.
And,
It's like Fortnite with the trees moving around.
It sure is. My son hates it when he gets shot when he's a bush.
all right, all of these guys just stampede forward.
Don't blunder. Oh,
Oh, so close.
dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight, I see. I just had a conversation online with somebody about the proper scale for black powder, even though they make a big deal that there isn't one. No ground scale, I mean. And it turns out this map is almost exactly right. I was so pleased. All right, these lads, and now
So we've got,
your hussars.
yeah, there's his commander's attached to them. He's trying to reduce their damage.
Well, that's just giving them an order, ain't it?
Hey?
You just got to give them an order.
Yes, give him an order.
So they are 7s, 7 or less.
Nine.
No, they don't want to lose that horrible disorder. So I think that's it. I think that's it.
I think that's everybody that can move. Yeah.
Commence to shootification. Oh, sorry.
Now I can move my commander,
Oh, correct. Yes.
even though he failed an order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go over here.
Make yourself useful.
Jeez.
For the love of Pete.
For the love of all that is holy. All right. Shoot things.
Shoot. What do you got? Where do you want to go?
I want the 7th Schroeder here, 2nd Battalion, to lay waste to the 2nd Battalion to 33rd line.
Four dice.
They're within 6 inches.
Yeah, I think that's going to be close range.
Now I'm disordered and have a 4 damage.
The damage doesn't... Well, that's shaken, yeah. That is yours shaken. But it is close range, which is a +1, but you're shaken, so that's a -1, so that's a wash. That's it. So...
My disorder does nothing to that?
No, it's disordered or shaken.
Or shaken.
So-
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm very specific. I've looked that up. It's very specific. It is not... it doesn't stack.
Good.
So...
So my shooting is 4 dice.
4 dice, and you need 4s.
Or better. 4, 5, 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oops, yeah, there we go. 2.
2 and
And
a
a
disorder.
disorder.
Oh,
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Doug, what's your morale again? Find your morale to be a 4+, and no modifiers. So 2 dice for 4 or better for Doug.
This damage doesn't modify that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Just short his morale.
Oh, and he waves them both off. He laughs at you.
But he got disordered. That's
He is
okay.
disordered. He does not like being disordered, to be sure.
Okay. Kaiser's Brigade Artillery.
Oy. Yeah.
is going to hit the second line 40 or second battalion 48th line
Yep. Imagine they might.
right in the drum.
Right in the drums. That's
It's
canister. That's canister, so it's 3 dice. Let's check our modifiers. It's actually in the morale where he's going to hate this the most. Not a column or a square. It is, however, a close range, so... Yeah. It's 3 dice for 3 through 6.
Oh, for God's sake!
Wow.
I want the new dice roller.
I'll get you one you want.
One hit.
One hit.
One possible hit.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's... Ooh, yee. Ah.
Oh, look. He didn't cover it.
He does not cover it. And the other thing is, he's hit by artillery at close range, so he was at a -2 anyway.
Ah. So he takes one whole hit.
Yeah, he took a damn... That was... Wow.
Oh, he's already got...
Oh, he's already got some? Okay.
He's already got some.
Has he, and has that been
He's already
clicked?
got one.
He's already got one, you see.
So the 1st Battalion 7th Shoulder lays into these same guys.
Very good.
2nd Battalion 48th.
Is that close range?
That's from the drummer.
It is from the drummer to the nearest point.
It's
It is not
7 inches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, 6 inches is close range.
'Kay.
So 4 dice, because you're big. 4 dice for 4 or better.
Two.
That's the odds right there, right? So 2 hits. Doug, you know what you need? Rolls off 1.
Covers 1.
Pink. Now,
He's a morale 4+.
so he is still not shaken.
Whatever that plus means.
Stop it.
All right. So Beaver's new artillery.
Oh yeah.
Can't shoot those same dudes. I have to shoot the closer
Yep.
guys.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's 9 to these guys and 9.2 to these guys. So we got to shoot at the small unit here.
Yeah.
1st Battalion 110, 108.
Yeah. So that's 2 dice, right? Because you're not at close range. Yeah.
It's 9 range. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 2 dice for 4, 5, 6. Just wait. Let me make sure Tiny doesn't modify that. Or he's small. He's small.
He's small.
Yeah. Nope, it's all good.
Does it go bounding through him? Do the guys?
There's no. It does not. There are bounding rules where there.
There we go. 2 hits for
There
2
you go.
dice.
2 hits, 2 dice. That is at that is at not at close range, close or
Right.
medium,
Correct.
but it is medium, and medium is -2, so they catch a -2, so their morale is now a 5, 6. So you need 6s, Doug. 2 dice for 6s. No.
No.
Next 2.
See, that's where artillery really hurts you. Because you get it at close range, you're not shaking off those hits. And it bears mention that his morale is... Well, he's still... Wow, those guys... Well, that's the 108th line, so that's not a joke. Alright. So there's damage all over the place now. What's next?
Well, these poor schmucks in the hoods here.
They might as well shoot, right?
Yep, I gotta shoot something.
Yeah, they're at a minus... Now, remember, you can pick your spot and shoot at who you want, so you can... they're skirmishers.
Yeah, the 1st Battalion, 10th line. Here, these guys.
You shoot at those guys? Sure. Now, because of that, you are at close range, but that gets washed by the fact that you're disordered, so it's a straight up.
Yep.
The Peter Varden Grenzers, they are not the sharpshooters. That's those boys back there. So it's 4 dice for 4, 5, 6.
What does rifle mixed mean?
That's a formation you can use. That means you're rifleman. And it would have increased your range, but it don't matter at this point.
So 4 dice?
4 dice for 4, 5, 6.
2 hits.
2 hits. Straight up, right, Doug? Yeah.
Nope.
Oh,
Takes them both.
that is to
That
shake.
shakes them?
That shakes them, yep. Those lads are shaken. Guess I'll put that there so I know they're there. Those lads are shaken.
And now the 1st Battalion Herzog
Erzherzog Karl Legion. I actually saw one of their uniforms at the Wagner Museum. It's actually we didn't do too bad.
Cool.
As far as
Right.
the coloring goes, it's obviously not a clear target on either side. 4 dice for 5s or 6s.
Short range.
Yes, thank you. 3, 4, 5. So it's 4, 5, 6. 3 dice for 4, 5, 6.
4 dice. 3 dice?
I'm sorry, is it 3 or 4?
4?
4 dice. No. Look at your shooting. It's
3.
3. It's 3.
All right. 1 hit.
All right.
Possible.
Now, Doug, you get it's
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Takes it.
Dink. All right.
I believe that's all I can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think these guys have enough range. What's the range?
That's outside. I think it's 18 actually. Smoothbore musket, 18. Remember, it's from the flag though.
Yes.
That's a shot. It's not a good shot, but it's a shot.
Not a great shot, but hey,
It's
shots are free, right?
Yep. It's a 1 die for a 6 because he's a skirmisher and it's not a clear shot. Nope. Pew!
Getting that 6 would have been nice.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it would have.
I believe that's all I can shoot.
And you obviously have no melees. Because
Nope.
nobody's punching each other right now.
Yep.
Very good. Let's get off some flags from those who have sustained their flaggage. I believe those guys
Just that
lose
one.
theirs. Yeah, is that it? Get rid of that.
I think
Anybody
that's
else
the only
need
one I'm
any
carrying.
other cleanup? All right. Good.
Oh, yeah, there's one here.
Oh yeah, the Peter Varden boys. All right. Good enough. Doug, yours to command.
Okay, boys. Initiative moves to start with.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to go ahead and have the 3rd Battalion of the 3rd Line.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to go ahead and charge. Erzherzog Karl Legion.
Can they fit in that space? It's the only question I've got. Otherwise, we're fine.
Well, they could fit on the side here.
Well, the way it works, though, is you've got to be able to... I got no problem moving the house, because the house is just representative. As a matter of
Yeah,
fact,
we can move the house.
I'll do it. The question is...
Does it actually fit in there?
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
Perfect. He does get a benefit of defending a thing, but that's it. All right, good. So he charges into Royth, just like that. All right?
Kissy, kissy.
Hello.
Hello. All right. Also, initiative move. 3rd Battalion, 10th Light.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming they can charge while in open order,
They can.
then they're going.
All right, and so what they do is, let's see how far with the 12... Remember, it's the 12 inches. Wow. I'm surprised at that. All right, so what this does is you match up like this. You're having a fractious engagement. Nobody should move more than 12 inches, and you're not. And then these lads just kind of hang out here. Symbolically, I guess. Open order. That's how that looks.
Yeah.
Because we are French.
We are
and
French.
We do these things.
We are going to attack you.
Okay. Initiative moves.
Yes.
Come on, charge my line again.
I'm probably going to do it.
Well, this one can't.
No, he can't, but the 1st Battalion of the 48th can.
Do that
So
is
why can't he? Why can't he?
disordered.
It's disordered.
Oh, but I thought you just said that disordered could march forward. Never mind.
No.
Pretty sure you should get the march forward. No?
They can march. No, they can. Well, they can. It depends on the situation, but they can't. Certainly in this case, they got to march away. In fact, they added in a new movement for disordered troops that they just can fall back.
Right. Which is march backwards, or is it actually turn around and run away?
I think the notion is you're telling the guys, why don't we take about 100 yards back and see what we can't sort out. Is it ordered or disordered? But no pun intended. I won't judge,
Yeah.
Rally on me, man.
All right, 1st Battalion of the 48th Line
Yep.
is going to pass through the 2nd Battalion of the 48th Line
Yes.
and charge into the 1st Battalion of Infantry Regiment 7.
Oh, look at that. They are indeed at distance. Very good. Away they go. They should pivot and yep. There you go.
15-degree pivoty thing.
But no, square them up to them. I realize it doesn't really matter, but my OCD triggers on things like that. There we go. Fighting!
Lots and lots of fighting. All right, so that was an initiative move, and first Battalion of the 111th Line
I see them.
is going to charge the guns.
Oh, good lord. Well, you're brave. Is that 11? Is that 12? Oh, yeah, it is. I'm surprised at that. Go on. Proceed.
Come get some. Come get some.
Well, it's a man's gamble.
The French do like their grapes.
Oh, that was a grape shot joke, ladies and gentlemen. A grape shot joke. No, you should take this guy on the far left and scooch him. There you go. He should flush up here. There we are. To be clear, that is what's happening.
All right, that's initiative moves.
Well, my guy decided he was not screwing around.
Now it's
take some of my units off the board so I can get the rest of them through.
And now it is orders.
Yeah.
All right, so in that case, we will go ahead and have. Oh, let's see here. 1st Battalion of the 3rd Line.
I see them.
Going to order them to form a column and then march forward no further than to be on the immediate flank of the 3rd Battalion of the 3rd Line.
And I'll say that you mean attack column?
Yeah.
Very good. So, he is its 1st Battalion, 3rd Line. So that's Lorenz.
Yep.
Inside his distance, 7.
On 2.
Correct. Yeah, it's easy on me.
Not a prayer.
No. So Lorenz is done.
Yep, he chokey. I will go ahead and have Solaire redo that roll.
Go for it.
And still no.
No.
So basically, all these guys are over here pretty well done.
Mm-hmm. I think that's right.
And that's good enough. Okay. 2nd Battalion of the 111th Line.
Yes.
Ordered to move up to the flank of the 1st Battalion of the 111th Line.
7. Oh, wait. You gave that to... Oh, no, you gave it to these guys. They're in line, not attack column, so pas de charge does not apply. That's right. I did right. Because this here is actually a 9 because of pas de charge.
Except they're not charging.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, they get it anyway?
Yeah, no, pas de charge just is the order. That's what they get for their orders when they're in attack column. They get the usual +1 plus an additional 1.
Oh, yeah, so 9 or less.
Yeah.
And we can just barely do that.
12 inches. And obviously you can pivot them, because I'm sure you want to.
Right. Which I will. 12 inches.
Bingo.
Like so.
Well, that makes it easier.
Yeah. Well, it's
Come to me.
taking some of your choices off the board anyway.
Yep.
Let's get this over with.
No kidding.
Alright. So we're going to go ahead and have... we're going to order... I'm going to try and rally 2nd Battalion of the 48th.
Rally is the last thing he does. So
Okay, so he won't do that yet.
No.
Well, he might.
Look around, tell me what you like. But that's the last thing he does, other than move himself. If
Yeah, because there's really not a whole lot else for him to do.
All right.
Yeah, so can he rally? He has to be attached, right, to rally?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
All right, so he will attach to these guys then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hello,
Gentlemen,
and
what the heck? 7 or less.
So he gets to move to attach to do this?
He's just attaching himself he's in range of them, and he's attaching himself to them.
Yep. 7.
There it is.
Good.
Stop it. Stupid thing.
did you drop that one? There you go.
There he goes.
Okay. All right. So, so given that, I would like to withdraw the 2nd Battalion of the. Well, no, I don't. I really don't. I really don't. I really just want to shoot.
I just want to shoot you. You understand?
Yeah, I think I'm okay with that idea of just
Yeah,
shooting.
He's sitting there with that 4 on there.
Yeah. So, given that, I'm going to move Gilly. Oh, it doesn't matter. Gilly's within 12, right?
Of
Of
well,
those
remember,
boys.
yeah. I mean, he's within 12 of them, sure.
All that matters.
No, correct, sir.
That is all that matters. And how close do we have to be supporting?
6 inches.
6 inches?
Correct.
All right, so we're going to try and move the 1st Battalion of the 33rd Line up an inch.
A grand total of 1 inch. 9.
Yeah.
This is a 9.
Be supportive, but just barely.
Just barely.
Fly
Just
casual.
a little supportive.
Just fly
A
casual.
gentle caress.
Yeah, you got all the movement you could ever want. Remembering to take pictures today.
Go ahead and make it 2.
Well, he just said.
Yeah, but I only said
he
one.
said 1.
It 1. That's true.
And wow, that puts me within 6 inches. All right. Well, that would be it.
So this was a big thing about Napoleonic battle, right? Is the trouble with actually getting troops to go where you needed them,
Oh,
when you needed them.
yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Which is why you have the follow me order. Allow me to tell one of my favorite stories from my trip. Late in the battle, as the French are coming hell for leather through these trees right here,
Mm-hmm.
having smashed the French, as Doug pointed out a couple games ago. They come up through here and just pummel the French and force them back. But the real sweep comes from over here and shoves them all the way out. This tree line is almost exactly where it was in 1809. And if you stand right here, you can see the spot where Liechtenstein, this dude, grabbed a standard and said, "Boys, follow me," and led them in here. And that's what it took to do something that suicidal.
Wow.
Yeah. Became quite a famous moment.
There is also the famous painting of Frederick the Great grabbing a standard at Kunersdorf and ordering his battalions that have spent the day smashing themselves against fortified Russian positions to follow him, and they don't.
Well, see?
One man advances, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're John Blutarsky in Animal House.
Yeah, exactly.
Oops.
Who's with me?
No one.
Oh, I see. No, and of course, I suppose the most famous of the Napoleonic Wars is Charles grabbing the standard at Ospernessling and calling out his men to follow. The funny thing about that, because it becomes 101 paintings, and there's a monumental statue in Vienna to this that I spent some time with. The funny thing is, if you read the record, he later admitted, "I couldn't have picked that thing up. It weighed too darn much." He said, I like the fact that the statue's that way, but I didn't pick that up. I had somebody help me. But that guy, oddly enough, is not in the statue.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Right?
Right.
And that pole of that flag is on display in the War Museum.
The pole.
The pole, yes, because the flag is missing. The pole, it's actually got laurels hanging from it. I've got several pictures of it. It became sort of a sacred relic. Look, my son knows how aggravated I became by the constant references to that moment, because it's the one time they actually managed to hang one on Napoleon. They finally managed to beat the guy. And it's like, yeah, got you, sucker. Yeah, hail the conquering hero. It was one time.
Hey, one time counts.
Yeah, they thought it did.
Hey, when it's your only one,
It counts big.
It's gonna matter. Doug, you have some shooting I think you want to do.
yeah, we have some shooting.
Where would you like to start?
We don't have a ton of shooting. We have a shooting.
Punching, yeah.
Just the one here?
We got a bunch of.
Is
Yeah,
that
we
right?
just got one. We got one shooty. Well, maybe two.
You're going to shoot here too, right?
Yeah, we can shoot there too.
Yeah.
So we'll start over here with the second of the 30.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a double whammy of him hiding in the trees and you being disordered. So it's 3 dice for 6s. Nothing.
Nope, nothing today.
All right. 1 die over here. I assume that's what you're
Yep.
talking. Oh wait, did you roll a 5, Doug?
I did.
All right, that 5 hits because it's close range.
Ah.
1 hit.
All right.
Vance, you need 1 die for a 3 or better because you are in the trees. Yes.
That'll do it.
Yeah, because that would actually have forced a break check.
Right.
which you don't
All right.
do.
So we'll go ahead. The second of the 111th firing on the second of the Infantry Regiment 57.
All right. And the question is,
One
because-
die.
yeah, I don't think there's that modifier that I'm thinking of because that's just for guns. You're not at close range to them, right?
No.
I
Not
think
quite.
so. No. Depending on where I measure from.
Flag.
From the flag.
Flag to near.
If I measure from the drum, no.
Okay. Ooh, so close. 1 die for
Close,
4.
but not.
1 die for 4, 5, 6.
Nope.
No. All right. So some melees.
Yep, the French are not rolling real well tonight so
Yeah,
far.
they're not covering themselves in rolling glory, as it were.
Nope. Okay, so we got the melee over here, the 1st Battalion of the 48th. They got to take their fire coming in.
Yeah, So, this one, yeah, we're talking about this one right here. Yep, okay.
Yep.
So, 1st Battalion of the 48th, that's going to be 4 dice for 3, 4, 5, 6, because it's closing fire.
Two hits.
That's
One's
a
a disruption.
disorder. That's a disorder.
Disorder. Yep.
So 2 hits, Doug, and you are in column, so you get the bonus of that. So it's 2 dice for 3, 4, 5, 6 to try to roll them off.
Hold one of them off.
Okay. All right. So you pewed him. That took him some damage. Let's melee. We discover here that we have a strength of 8 versus a strength of 6. That's our base.
Yep.
We're going to go down. So it's 8 to 6. Let's check out our modifiers for hand to hand. For the 8, that is the nothing. How about the 6? They are charging, but unfortunately they are shaken. So
They're disordered.
Shaken or disordered is the same. It doesn't stack
Right.
again. So it's 8 to 6 straight up. 8 to 6, looking for 4s. Ooh, 4 right there. 3. 4 to 3 is the initial score. Let's talk about supports.
But I did one coming in.
You did, and that may well save your bacon, my friend.
Yes.
that may well save your bacon. So let's set to the side a little separate reminder.
Did somebody say bacon?
I did.
There's the pig. The pig is active tonight.
The pig is very active, much more so than usual. And so now I'm going to roll.
The winner gets the pig for the bacon.
Nice. So these are going to be our temporary markers right here. So we have 4 and 3. But the first thing we have to do is roll them off. So Doug, you are in attack column. So you get 4 dice for 3 or better.
I did 4, not took 4.
Oh, I switched this. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Right.
There we are.
Yeah.
3 dice for 3 or better. All but 1. Okay. Now, Vance, you have your chance. You are 4 dice for 4 or better. For 4 or better.
Three of them.
Nice. Okay. So we now can get rid of these because these will be, well, no, I have to keep them on. I apologize because that's part of our calculation still. Doug, let's talk about your supports. We see 1, 2, 3 supports for Doug, which takes his grand total to 4.
Sorry, how do you count those?
This is 1 here to his left, 1 here to his rear.
Why that guy and not this one? I'm not sure what you're...
Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry. It's here.
We're talking about these guys here, right?
I'm measuring from the wrong guys.
Yep.
That is within 6 inches.
Yep.
That's within 6.
So is this.
So 1,
Yep.
2. Oh.
Those guys are not to his rear?
This guy's to his rear, but these guys don't count because they are otherwise engaged. So how about the...
this guy is not to his rear?
Let me check. It's a fair question. They are to his rear. So he has 2.
Yep.
So 2. So 1, 2 to 3. So that makes a total of 3. How about you, Vance? What do you got? You got 1 here. How about your rear?
These guys aren't within 6.
Nope. So you got 1. So Doug is going to win on a score of 2 to 1. So go ahead, because this is, remember, don't look at this. Look at these. Okay.
Yeah, but
So-
this got done coming in.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
It does not matter. It's what is done in the melee. It's a question. Yes, he takes this hit and he has to add this damage to it. But in terms of who won the melee, it's these.
All right.
So he sustained
Other one.
another one. Well, like I say, that doesn't add to the damage. It does determine who wins. You're both only going to take one more damage, but Doug won the melee. So, with a total now of 3 damage, and Doug has 2 damage. Now I get rid of these. Good. Vance has to roll. You are not shaken or anything else, are you? No. No
No.
excess casualties, not disordered, and no artillery tests. Good. That's going to be for later. We no excess hits. Nope. Yeah, this is only you are defeated in hand-to-hand combat. 2d6, 7 or better, Vance, you stand.
Of course not.
You retire 1 full move to your rear without changing formation and at all times avoiding contact. Once you have moved, you are disordered. Yep. So, 12 inches to your rear.
This whole line goes straight back 12.
As
It's
much
going to
as-
end up on top of all of this.
Well, like I say, it's allowed to. We have determined as long as it's going to its rear, it's allowed to fandango. So it's going to pivot and it's going to fill this space right here.
All right.
So I will grab it. And if you want to try to make something else work, I'm open to it.
Nope. If you go right in between, just in front of the
Yeah,
field
you-
marshal, in between these two guys.
Gotta go back further than that. Right? Can you move that marshal that I'm almost on top of, please?
Mm-hmm.
Right there. I'll scooch him a little this way. That look about right?
Yep.
All right. And you are disordered.
Disorder.
All right, so that's a win. It's a win for the French, although not with. So what? How much casualties you got? You got 3. All right. Certainly no break checks there. Doug, that's a win. What do you got next?
Charging the guns.
The guns.
This I just think is going
First
to
to the 111th.
All right, where is that? There it is, right there. Vance, let's have it. That's going to be a 3d6. Shootings. Shooting at a column. Shooting at close range. 3 for a 2, anything but a 1. It's 2 or better.
Takes 3 in disorders.
3 hits and disorders. Doug, you may attempt to roll these off. 3 dice for 3 or better.
Wait a minute.
All gone.
Isn't it worse for facing
Ah,
guns?
I don't know. Oh, that's right. What am I saying? Okay, keep your rolls, Doug, because they will count. You are hit by artillery at close range, so it's a minus
Right.
2. So you start out at a 4, you go down to a 3, 3, 4, so it's 5. You need a 5 or a 6, Doug. What'd you roll?
None of those. Nope. None of them.
All 3. Doink. Okay.
Got to throw a disorder on there too.
Yes, I do. All right, but does that require a break check? I don't think it does. Nope.
This morale is 4, right? Oh, but he got hit by artillery.
You suffered artillery casualties by closing fire. So you must take a break check. 2d6, 7 you stand.
Your pig's red.
It's got some lipstick.
9, stand. We proceed to the melee.
Let's do it, boys.
That's not. I don't see that going well.
6 to 1.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it should be. I mean, you took a lot of casualties. That's nasty. But,
that's right.
But that's a dead gun. Presumably. So Doug, you start 6d6. Any modifiers? I know that you are. I know you get this negative if you're shooting at him, but do you get anything in hand to hand? Where's them fisticuffs? Where's my fisticuffs? There they are. You're the dude what's charging, so you get that credit. So that takes it from a 3 to a 2. You are shaken, so that takes it back to a 3. That's it. 6 dice for 3, Doug.
A 3, wow.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. He's on top of you now.
Yeah.
Oof.
3 of them.
3 hits and a disorder no matter what. So Vance... No, you're going to have to roll 3d6.
Oh, is it 3?
Yeah, he hit you 3 times.
Oh, he has.
Oh, no, I was rolling my shot.
Oh, okay, I got it. Sorry. 1d6, and what'd you roll?
A 6.
That's going to hit, so...
Yippee.
So we'll do our extra side die here again. So Doug, you hit him for 3, correct?
3, yep.
Right.
And he hit you for 1.
Right.
So now you all, of course, get your chance to roll off. I'm always checking these morale modifiers because I'm worried I get them wrong. Yeah, you get a +1. Nope, nothing. Good. Ergo, Vance, 3d6 for 3d6 for 4s.
1.
Doug, 1d6 for 3.
Why does he need a 3 and I need a 4?
Because he's in column.
All right.
So you have done no damage to him. Now we look at supports. Vance, you have 1 to your rear. Doug, is he close enough?
Well, these guys shouldn't count.
Oh, right. They
That guy
don't
shouldn't count.
count. You're right. Yeah,
They were fighty.
Yeah, they were fighty. How about these guys?
You definitely have these guys.
And the guys to the rear. So you've got
Yeah.
two.
There's
So it's 2.
4 to zip.
Yeah, so it's a win. So you are also now shaken as well as disordered because you only have a stamina of 2 as a gun. So we go over here to the break tests. -1. Yeah. All right, for artillery, the only way you survive is now, Vance, is on a 4 or less. Problem being, you've got a -1, so it's 2d6, and you need to roll a... Oof. Only a 2 or a 3 does it. Nope, they're dead.
2 3s.
he survived twice.
You're right. So we'll get rid of him. Get rid of this. All right. So the guns have been taken. Smashed. All right, next.
All right. Skirms.
Skirmy dudes. Skirmy
3rd of the 10th.
comes on in, and those boys get to shoot at him. All right. Peter Varden Grenzers. Oh, that's right. You're the sharpshooters. Okay. What do they got? They got shooting of 4, close range, which takes it to a 3, But they're... Oh, that's right. They're skirmishers, so it doesn't matter. So it's a 3. Vance, so you're shooting 4d6 for 3s to hit him as he comes on up at you.
All of them. And disordered.
That was a little rugged there. Nicely done. You've been disordering the bejeebus out of him.
Yes.
That's been the crazy part for the French, I'll say that. So, Doug, that was 4 hits, 4d6. You are not in your attack column. 4d6 for 4s. Ouch.
1.
So that's 3. Okay. All right.
So he's now shaken, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Fight still goes on. So you all are rolling this here. So you get... It's your hand-to-hand is... Oh! Those Grenzers.
8.
8.
Yep.
They're tough. 8 to 6. So Vance, you're going to need, because you are defending the trees, you're going to need 3s. However, you are shaken, so you need 4s. And wait, you're a skirmisher, so you need 5s. Skirmishers do less damage. That's gonna affect Doug too. So it's gonna be 5s. 4d6 for 5s. Or sorry, 8d6 for 5s.
8. 1.
1. The dice walk away from him. Doug, you're attacking someone in the trees, and unfortunately, so I think it's going to be 6s. 66 for 4. It's usually a 4. It's a 5 because you're shaken, and it's a 6 because he's in the trees and you're a skirmisher. So yeah, you need 6s. 66 for 6s.
1.
1. Interesting. All right. Now the game gets interesting. Okay. Vance, 1d6 for 3 or better because... Oh, wait. You are... Nope, that washes. So 1d6 for 4 or better.
Nope.
All right, so that sticks. Doug, you are 1d6 for 4 or better. Woo. Here's the thing. Yeah, Vance is almost certainly going to have to take a break check, but we'll figure out who wins. Vance has to take a break check no matter what, because you're now at 5.
1 over shaken, yeah.
But do we have any supports to speak of?
What does tough fighter mean?
Oh, you have tough fighter?
Yeah.
He does.
All right. Fairly certain I know what that means, but let me look it up. I believe it means you get to reroll 1 miss.
Is it tough fighter, unreliable, and rifle mixed?
Tough fighter. Yes. Vance, you get to roll 1 miss. Reroll 1 miss.
Well, I'd like to re-roll that last one.
I know. But you don't get to roll the whole thing. You get to roll 1 die.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. That's all you could roll. So yeah, away you go.
Oh, much better.
So tough fighter was there, but it didn't do you a whole lot of good. Do we have any supports to speak of? It certainly seems that Doug has one here.
Sorry, why did you get this to 5 already?
I just that's true. That's true. That was premature.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm following things.
No, that's fair. So Doug's got a support
Isn't
over
that
here.
Can he support both ways?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah. It's as long as again as we saw there was no melee going on elsewhere. Like he didn't. That fellow did not melee. Does he have one here?
Yeah.
He does. That's 2. And that guy's got a melee he's worrying about.
Nope. This guy, but I don't think he's close enough.
He's not. That guy's probably not
Yeah.
close enough.
So Doug's got 2. So it looks like a 3...
The zip.
3 to zip. All right, so that's a... that is a French win here on the hill of the Buchberg. So we'll get this put over here. And here's where that matters. What's your usual morale?
4.
4. So that is going to be a -1 to you, because you can never be consistently... After this, we're going to reduce this back to 4, because you never stay above shaken. That just becomes a modifier in the combat. So here's your test. What are you looking at? Per excess casualty. Are you disordered?
I am not.
He is not, no.
Okay, he is not. All right, so this is just for Vance. 2d6 on a -1, so you're going to need an 8 or better to stand.
You betcha.
And he does.
He stands. There it comes up with it. All right, so since you stand, the fight continues. The disorder sticks, this sticks, that sticks, and you go back to 4.
So that goes to 4, and what happens?
You stay right there. Nothing. You're fighting.
Okay.
You are fighting for these trees, as happened in the event. Doug decided he wasn't fooling around, so he came over here too, right?
Yep.
So the fight for Royth is now going to happen. Nasty, nasty, nasty. All right, these fellers. 6d6 for 4s, because it's not a clear shot. But
Their shooting is 2/3.
Oh, thank you. 3d6. I'm looking at their hand-to-hand. 3d6 for...
And sharpshooter...
That lets them reroll 1 miss. It's not a clear shot, but it's close range, so that's a wash. 3d6 for 4s.
That's 1. And I can reroll 1 of those, right?
Correct.
2 hits.
There it is. Doug, 2d6 for 3 or better, because you are in column. 1 of them.
There's 1 of them.
All right. No morale roll is required, so now it's just fighty-fighty. Let's go through our numbers. The Erzherzog Karl Legion gets a 6.
6.
And that'll be it for them. Doug's going to be at a minus with a plus. Anyway, 66 for 4s for Vance. Doug is a 6d6. He is the attacker, but he's attacking these dudes in this place. So it's 6d6 for... So it's both of you are 6d6 for 4s.
Five. The disorder.
The disorder is shooting only. 5 both ways.
Nice shooting, Tex.
Yes, those guys really want that pig farm. That's ugly. Thank you, pig.
Pig's not giving up his house.
No, he's not. He is sure not. Oh my goodness. Now let's do some rolling off. Both of you are going to get a +1. You for the formation, you for guarding a place. So Vance, 5d6 for 3 or better.
Four.
Same for you, Doug, I think. Yeah, 5d6 for 3 or better. 3.
3.
There's a comment online.
Well, what do we got? Somebody tell me something. I love it when people talk. Where to go? Where'd my... I got 20 windows up. Sorry, folks.
Brake test for Austrian infantry that supported the broken artillery.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. We'll do that right after this. It won't affect anything.
Yep.
But that's exactly right. Because they just saw those guys have to bugger off. And it's Hasdrubal. Hi, Hasdrubal. All right, so it was 2 for 1 right now. Now let's talk supports. Yep. 1 here. They were in a fight. So I think that's even.
I don't have anybody. Yep.
He doesn't have anybody, but...
You do. You've got the 1.
I do.
So it's 2
I got 1.
So it's 2 to 2.
Yeah.
So it's 2 to 2. It's
so
even.
It's 2 to 2. It's a draw. What that means, it's a draw. Anybody was shaken, there would have to be a morale test. But it's not, so the fight continues, and the damage hits. So you get up to 3, and you go to 2.
Doesn't that make him shaken?
It does now, but it wasn't
Okay.
at the time.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good question. I will. Let me double check that. No, his morale is 4. His morale is 4. He's not. Is that what he's at? No, he's at 3. He's fine.
His stamina is 3, his morale is...
Yeah. His 3. Yeah. So he is at his stamina. He has not exceeded it. So yeah, he would be shaken. Question is, when does he have to take that test? Good question. Excess hits, shaken or suffer. No, he is not defeated. If shaken, yes. So he does have to take a test. That's the case. If you are shaken by a drawn combat, you must take a test. So he has no excess casualties. His morale is what it is. So 2d6, Doug. A 7 or better, you stand. Or 7 or less. I'm sorry.
7 or less, or
Oh
7
no,
or better?
it's 7 or better. I apologize. 7 or
Yeah, it's very confusing because some of the rolls are better and some
Right.
are
inverts.
less.
Yeah, it inverts.
Yeah.
That unit breaks. That unit breaks.
Well, and then this guy's going to have to take break test too. Then.
Correct.
So, they break.
Well, they're not gone.
Yeah, they are. Oh yeah. Read 3.
What?
So why did
No,
these
wait a
guys
minute.
retreat?
Wait a minute.
4. You rolled.
Why did one guy retreat?
Did you roll
Yeah.
Did you roll a 3?
Yeah,
don't know.
he also failed his break test.
There are
He
different.
retreated.
Yeah, because he rolled a 5. If you rolled a 5, you get to retreat 1.
Well, that'd be nice to know, before we have to fucking roll.
What difference does it make? You think it affects the machine? Seriously?
Yeah, actually, knowing the rules before we attack might be helpful.
What didn't you know?
That's our. Go ahead. Whatever.
All right. So yeah, he's gone.
Well, I was kind of surprised my gun vanished too, Doug. So
Why?
no, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. So break test here.
So he's gonna get a break test on these guys.
Mm-hmm. And they're fine. And you have to look. Anything 7 or better, they're going to be fine.
Even if they're disordered and okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, look.
I'm just trying to keep track of what disorder does. It doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot other than
Disorder-
not let you move.
No, disorder actually messes with you. If you take a look, it doesn't affect. Look over here. It doesn't affect morale. It actually affects shooting. So -1 to shooting. And if you go over here, it's a -1 to your hand-to-hand combat. And then, probably most significantly, it means you can't do anything. Right?
It's a -1 to your hand-to-hand combat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that was taking place over here. But
Yes, where?
in these combats,
I'm fairly certain it was.
these guys were both disordered.
Right, but they're also in a...
Yeah, they took a -1 to their rolls.
Yep, and they're also attackers. And remember, attackers always...
Yeah,
go
washed.
+1. It's a wash.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Yep.
That's the deal. All right, so your artillery... The guy who was supporting that gun...
It's these guys back here.
Mm-hmm. They saw that gun get pounded on. So they have to roll a 2d6 just to make sure that all the modifiers are clear and all that stuff. Go over here. Break test, no excess casualties. And by the way, there's disorder for break tests. And they did not suffer casualties from artillery for test 1 or 2. So there's no modifiers. So a 7 or better, they stand. They stand. All right.
Okay, sorry, I gotta step away. I gotta let the dog out.
All right. Dog being let out. Where did he put Vukosevic? There he is. So Vukosevic commands these fellas, those fellas, and those fellas. Very good.
I gotta say,
Hmm.
I think the version 2 rules break the game.
The melee thing?
Yep.
I'm curious to know, and I don't know, I am curious to know what made them make the change.
Yeah, I whatever it was, it's wrong. Because there is no point to French columns and the French attack doctrine. It has totally now made this a generic game.
That's the fact. Yeah, I don't know if they have trouble to explain it. Well, since we're waiting for Vance, how many viewers do we have? If we have any crack, Hasdrubal, do you have any thoughts? If you're sitting out there, I didn't look it up. Well, I looked it up. I didn't look any reasons behind it. I remember there was a pretty good article from them about what differences there were, and that's where I found it. The changes. One of the biggest changes reflects the way... Oh, it's Vance. Quit talking about Vance.
I'm back.
One of the biggest changes reflects the way many already play, representing hand-to-handing fighting unit on unit, rather than allowing multiple units on one side. There are still some exceptions, such as when artillery is engaged and when units of disproportionate size are engaged, but broadly speaking, I've rewritten the engagement rules to facilitate one-on-one combats. This involved unpicking and restitching all the rules for moving into contact, but the result is, I'm absolutely certain this will not please Doug when I say the result is a bit breezier and more straightforward.
It breaks the game.
We can start a conversation about that to see why people think that that's better and how this, as you say, how it does not inordinately disadvantage the French or anything like that. So in any event, but for the game as we have it, Vance,
Yes, sir.
it's your turn.
I think these gentlemen, the French over here, the 2nd
Yeah, we gotta
Battalion,
take
33rd,
some-
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
We gotta
They
take
lose
some
a
flags
disorder?
off.
Yeah, well, they have to...
but these guys all gained them this.
Yeah, if you got them this turn, you get the privilege of keeping them. So I think that's...
Right,
all four
but
of
this
these.
this guy did not. This
Correct.
guy
Yeah,
should come off too.
Correct. He could not have been shot at, so
That's right.
away that goes. Correct.
And this guy over here as well.
And that
yeah,
one.
The 2nd Battalion, 3rd line.
Oh, right, the guy behind. Correct.
Yep.
Done.
Okay.
Uh-oh, Vance fell over.
No, I'm right here. guys are close. I should just shoot with those guys, so they're not going to react. They're not going to. We're talking 12, right?
Yep.
Those guys aren't. All right, so the 2nd Battalion, 57th Rifles,
Mm-hmm.
or Infantry Regiment.
Yes.
Now, what can I do with this? Reaction?
It's initiative.
Initiative?
Yeah.
Can I change into line and line up and blast away at these guys?
Well, you can you may use that movement to change your formation. Correct.
So I could form a line across here.
Mm-hmm.
These horses are gone too, right?
Which horses?
For all intents and
Oh yeah.
my
Sorry.
Beaver's artillery.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes. Yeah.
Yep. They're running around the battlefield very scared right now.
So they're actually 12 as well. So as an initiative things, the 2nd Battalion, 57th, wants to form line
All right.
here. Is that a thing I can do?
I don't see why not. You form on the flag.
But
turn the flag. Yeah.
Yeah, but you form on the flag.
Mm-hmm.
So the flag doesn't move.
Right.
That's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. And the first thing you do is move the flag.
Sorry, that's the flag.
Yeah.
Oops. For some reason I thought it was the other one.
That's all right.
There.
There you go.
These idiots, come here.
You just grab them 50-50 either way.
Want a little help there?
Move some trees. Uh-oh. Those guys got red all of a sudden. They scare me.
Just gonna move him out of the way for the moment so we can... Know what you're thinking, Vance?
I gotta do that, yeah. I gotta put half on one side, half on the other.
Yep. Need one more over here.
It's interesting, Doug, that Hasdrubal made the comment that he only has first edition.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It pretty much puts me off the system.
Sure.
What is that, not being able to have more than one?
Yeah, there's no reason. There is no reason for the French to attack at this point anymore.
I'm wondering if they have the idea that we're all going to own the supplements that do things like 2-ranked line and all that stuff. I don't know. The other thing is, and I guess this is, and I don't know, I don't pretend to know, but it could also be that the argument is that you have this ability, your morale is stronger. But I take your point.
My morale is stronger, and he's got huge battalions.
Yeah,
Yep.
but I mean,
and there's no way to counteract that.
Yeah.
Especially in a scenario where I don't have any artillery.
Right.
Which is a historically incorrect OOB.
Sounds good.
So, 3rd Battalion, 57th,
Mm-hmm.
is within 12 inches of him as well, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're just going to stay in formation, but the whole formation is going to pivot and face the French.
Okay. That's I mean, it's ultimately each one of them is going to turn that about 30 degrees, but yeah,
Like that?
sure. You can pretty much face however you like, right?
Yeah. And the 1st Battalion, which is also 12 inches. 12 inches is a long way.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to do exactly the same thing.
Right.
If I can pick them up. These guys in town are not going to move. These guys are in contact, right? We have a
Yeah, that's all.
ongoing melee here.
Yep.
That's what that is. The gun not going to do anything. These guys are not going to do anything. Because it was bad. These gentlemen back here. We can't do much. Okay, so that's the initiative, guys.
All right.
I should have moved Liechtenstein. Wow. How did they expect to be able to handle all these troops in such a small area?
The article, to answer Hasdrubal's question, is actually on the Warlord's website. It's called Getting Started with Black Powder. And there's a list of 10 changes. It appears to be written by Rick, so... Mr. Priestley, like I know him.
Okay, so Liechtenstein's going to order his guys that are marching through the woods just to keep marching through the woods.
All right.
So they get that free.
Yeah, they get the free march move. Just don't fumble.
Don't fumble. I think one of the fumbles actually worked out.
It did, but one of them could be very bad for you.
That's 8.
So 6 inches.
Yeah. These guys all shuffle forward. And then he's going to order his artillery to move forward and unlimber right here, right next to the hussars.
So you're going to try to send that out as an order?
Yes. He's 14 away.
Okay, so that's a -1, but he's... I'm glad I put these on both sides anyway. Yeah, so it's a -1 plus 1, 7.
A 7.
So you get the 6 inches. Or 9 inches, I'm sorry.
9 inches movement.
No, but no formation change.
Right. Oops. So they end up here. Those guys are not doing anything. Those guys are not doing anything. So, Vukosevic is going to try to rally his horses again.
All right. I think it's a 7.
And he rolls another 10.
They're just not interested. They are not interested.
He's going to get fired. Those guys are done. Those guys are going to get... Bieber's troops.
What about them?
He's now gunless. He's going to order this troop here, the 1st Battalion, 38th. Would like to form a line directly behind the 1st Battalion, 7th.
You got a line that wants to form another line. Very good.
Yes.
So he belongs.
I want to change formation in advance to here.
Do you want to change formation first?
Does it matter?
Sure, because if you fail, you're only going to get to do one or the other, right?
Right. Okay.
If you don't,
we will form line and then advance to here.
Okay. Very good.
I see what you're saying.
And
5.
you get.
I get to do both.
Yes, you may do both.
Okay. So,
And you've got more than enough move to achieve that, so.
Yep. It may actually be quicker to stack these guys up.
I think that's probably so.
Hey.
Sorry.
I need a new mouse. It's got better control. That's the flag, so I gotta get these 2 guys over here.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pivot. You might as well pivot them first. I mean, you can
Yep.
always pivot.
Oops. Yeah, now. Picking up all of these could be kind of fun. Are you able to shift pickup? No?
No, just what you want to do. Where you want to be?
Just snugged up right behind these guys.
Yeah. Are you talking flush? Like that?
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Put Bieber back.
Yeah. And these guys just are going to get their 6 inches shuffled forward.
All right. Those are.
38th and the 20th.
Okay.
Just don't whiff it.
Mm-hmm. They don't.
It's good.
I'll grab the guys on the right. Minus that tree.
Wow. Give me a break. There.
Brilliant.
I have no idea how to stand that flag up.
Oh. Ta-da.
He tried that and failed miserably. I gotta move some generalissimos around.
Sure.
Liechtenstein moves up to here.
Okay.
Bieber, who now has no guns. Just not really. Wait for him to be over here. He's gonna go back over here. That was column. He's doing good. This field marshal's gonna join him. This field marshal is going to go over here. Right then, that's it.
All right, shooting.
Start over here again. So, 2nd Battalion, 7th.
Are they shaking?
Going to open up.
They are shaken now.
Yes.
I think that matters. I think it does.
and they're shooting at the 2nd Battalion, 33rd.
Yeah. That's
Shaken matters because they
Yep.
were shaken last turn as well.
right. Shaken matters, but it washes against close. That's the
Okay.
deal. So, shooting 4d6.
4 dice.
4d6 for 4s.
3 of them and disordered.
Oof.
Gotta like that disorder.
So, Doug, 3.
I don't. Does shaken really matter for
Yeah.
fire combat?
Mm-hmm. Go over here to shooting. And if you are either shaken
There we go.
or
All
disordered.
right, or disordered. Yeah.
They just don't stack. That's the thing that I beat into my head. So him be shaken. Anyway, but you hit for 3, yeah? So Doug, 3d6 for 4s. All of them.
All of them.
But he did catch a disorder.
Yeah, but that's not good enough.
I'm sure you feel that way.
All right. My cannon's going to fire into the side of the 2nd Battalion, 48th.
We determined that was over 6 inches, right?
Yes.
So 2d6.
It's 2 dice.
2d6 for 4s.
Nothing.
Wow.
Not sure how cannons can miss that close, but that's okay.
Next.
I'm pretty sure I can't shoot through my Generalissimos here.
Generals don't matter. You can't shoot through other units. Generals are just a center of gravity for a bunch of guys.
Right.
There are guys running all over the place back here.
Right.
Some of whom are going to get shot in the head.
So the 1st Battalion, 7th Schroeder is 12 inches from
Good.
the 1st Battalion, 48th line here.
Very good.
So they're going to shoot.
All right.
4?
So that's yeah, except that's not a clear shot because you got these guys sitting right over here.
These guys.
Clear shot, you got to have that full 45 degrees clear all the way out to the target. So you're gonna catch that.
Okay. Yep. All right.
4d6. So it's 4d6.
Is that-
Sorry.
Is that disruption also going to impact his roll?
Yeah, I'm disordered as well.
Oh,
Disordered.
it's hiding over there. 4d6 for 6.
Yes. 6s? Yeah.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Wow. That's kind of spectacular. And that was for a 3 or better.
So he cleared them all.
Does disorder affect morale? You'd think by now I could remember 2 freaking modifiers. It doesn't. So yeah, cleared them all. But he keeps
Nice.
but he gets a fresh. I'm actually going to put a 2nd disorder on him, just so we remember he loses 1 but keeps the other.
All right. The 2nd Battalion, 57th,
Mm-hmm.
is going to fire into the 1st Battalion, 11th, 111th.
6 inches from the standard.
From the flag?
Yep.
Yes.
So it's a plus, but it's a minus because you got this mess going on. So 46 for 4.
1.
1d6 for 3. No.
So that breaks him.
No, that shakes him.
It overshakes him.
That's what I'm saying. That means he, I believe right now, must take...
He's already shaken.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
must take that test. Just checking. Yes, suffered from shooty behavior. He has 1 over 2d. So going over this, 2d6 minus 1. If he rolls a net 6 or better, he holds his ground. If he rolls a 5, that's the retire. 4 or less, he breaks. 2d6 minus 1. So 6. He's fine. Shooting.
Wait a minute.
Holds his ground.
7.
Because it's the results are different shooting in hand to hand.
Right. All right.
So he
Okay.
and he stays stuck there. So he doesn't add one more.
Right.
Okay.
We have a shooty over here. The 1st Battalion Ursog.
Yep.
Against the 2nd Battalion, 3rd line.
That's a wash. Where's that? Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it's within 6. So those are those two.
They are
guys,
sharp.
yeah.
They are sharpshooters.
Which means I get to re-roll, but it's a 3d6. They're at close range, but it's an obstructed shot because you're shooting through all this mess. So it is 3d6 for 4.
1. Roll right.
1, and Doug, you've got 1 for 3.
Wait. 2.
Ah.
I get to re-roll one
Oh,
of
yes,
those, right?
you do. Yes, you do.
So I get 2 hits.
2 for 3.
2 possibles.
All right, those lads are shaking.
And then we have this
So they got to
fisticuffs
take a
there.
test, right?
Nope, it's when they go over shaken.
We're shaken. And now, does this hand-to-hand happen again?
It does. As soon as you're done with your shooting, we go into more fisticuffs.
Yep, that's all my shooting.
All right, so let's do some fisticuffs. No closing fire, obviously, because you are continuing to punchify one another. You're already both now in the trees, so that doesn't matter anymore. Unfortunately, Doug's disorder will matter, and your shaken will matter, right?
Well, Doug is shaken too.
Yeah, but they don't stack. That's
Okay.
the thing. I've got.
Right?
That's the thing. So let's begin. Let me get some markers over here so I can keep track.
So I get 8 dice.
8d6. You'd usually need a 4, but you are shaken, so you need a 5. Is that it? Oh, and you're a skirmisher. 6. So you need 6s. 8 dice for 6s. Doug, I think, is going to be exactly the same. Except he's
And I'm
6. Yeah.
Tough fighter means I get to roll one of those.
1 miss, yep. So 8d6 for 6s, and Doug is in the same boat, I believe. Yep.
1 6.
1 6. Doug, 66 for 6s. Nothing.
No 6.
And you get to re-roll 1, Vance, because you're a tough
Oh, yeah.
fighter.
Nope.
Nothing. Doug, you get to 1d6 for 6 to see if you can roll that off.
For 6.
I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. That's plenty.
Yeah.
So he does not, neither of you did a casualty to each other.
Correct.
So now we just go straight to supports. Bonsai Cat says, those
Yeah.
sure are some pretty lines you got there, boys. We do.
Yeah.
We do. All right, so supports. Doug's got 1, 2.
And I got 1 2.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that guy's there. Yeah, he is. And then this fella, 1 2. So it is again a draw, and nobody was shaken by the fight, so nobody has to take a test. We'll see this one next round.
Wow. Okay.
Well, and the other thing is, of course, Doug will be able to lift off his disorder and all that stuff, too. So.
At the end of his turn, right?
Well, no, he suffered a turn with it. Once your turn is done, he gets to take this off. That's why I put this second one here. This one, and this one are all coming off because they're not new. Or was this one was new, right? You shot him into this?
Yes.
Yes.
So this one back here should have come off.
Which one where? No, you have to go through a whole turn. You have to sustain a whole turn of damage with it. You got this one because you were forced to retire by his guns,
Right.
right?
So now that my turn is over, that comes off.
No, he gets one shot with you with that on. See, think of it this way. when you take
That's
it,
2 turns with it on.
when you oh, that's right. You're right. I apologize. You're right. When it happens in that turn, you have to suffer.
It happened in his turn.
Right.
I've
At the end
suffered
of
all the
this
way through
turn.
my
Yeah,
turn.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Right.
That's right. I get
At
you.
the
I
end of
understand.
his phase,
Yep.
that comes off.
Get it.
Which is right now. I'm done.
Are we done? Yeah, that was my question. Okay,
Yep.
good.
Fisticuffs was it.
Yeah, disorder. That's off there. This one's off here. Correct? Yeah, because you didn't. Or did you shoot him into this one, Vance?
No,
That
was
one's
no.
gone? All right, I know that's why.
Yeah, that was caused by the fisticuffs.
Okay,
One
got
of these was caused by the fisticuffs.
Yep.
That was the other one I shot him. And I shot him into that one.
Yep, and that goes.
And
away
this
too.
one's gone.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
All
Now I
right.
understand.
Doug, you're up.
Your lag is zooming up again, OJ.
He's making trouble over there.
Yes, Border Patrol.
Uh,
Must be scanning every packet going across the border.
entirely likely.
Actually, you know what? It went up after BC started watching the video feed. I don't think that had anything to do with it. I think it's just coincidence. Oh, your guys' went up too.
Yeah, it has drool. No, it's not. I mean, it's interesting. I understand what you're saying because that's absolutely.
No,
Come on.
BC, you're not.
No, you're not messing it up. It's just the ping really doesn't matter that much. We're not playing a shooter, for God's sake.
Right.
You know, it's. But no, to Hasdrubal's question is a legitimate one. It clearly, whatever we think of it, and it sounds like the Armchair Dragoons are going to be making an executive decision in the next game of Black Powder that we're going back to the way first edition was, and that's fine. I'm not wedded to it one way or the other, honestly. I'm curious to know Rick's reasons for doing it, but no, it's in fact the example of large versus regular. A is clearly the way it's written in first edition, and B is almost entirely Doug's point. You know, that when you've got a situation, I don't know, let's take this one right here,
Yeah, exactly.
where you've got this gigantic Austrian unit and 2 regular-sized French battalions, and for reasons of convenience, you suddenly can't engage them, even though you evidently have room to do so. And I understand that everything in Black Powder is a pretty strong abstraction, but I'm not persuaded that... I'm not persuaded it saves that much time. And B, I'm, as the French... I'm the Francophile in the room here. Doug's for the Prussians. To be honest, he's going to suffer from this when we get to Quatre Bras far more than I am.
Yep.
But,
But doctrine's important.
Yeah, no, it is.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Otherwise, the armies are generic.
That's
Yep.
right.
And this is no longer Napoleonics. It's Warhammer.
Sure. Sure. No, and to that point, I mean, you can even go farther and say that's why they did a lot of the crazy stuff that we're going to see when we get to Quatre Bras, because they give a lot of... And I finally figured it out. I wrapped my head around it. They intend you to build a scenario around the historical thing. And that's doable. You can do, column of divisions. You can do the 4 deep line. You can do all these other things, and they're great. But this rule is fundamental to the rule set. It's not modified. There's no place that's modified. It's just the basic game rule says what it says, and we have reason to dissent. How's that?
Well, I don't see how you can pull off Quatre Bras without it. Okay? Show me how constraining French melee at Gemincourt to 1 battalion makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Oh, like I say, it seems like he's hand-waving into convenience, and I respect that. That's fine, because this game is about taking it easy on some of that stuff. But it's pretty fundamental, I'm not going to fight you too much.
Well, at that point, you can't get anything that resembles a historical result. and
I'm just
and
doing
you're
this.
just pushing tin around the board.
I'm moving stuff here. I'm
What?
just curious. I'm just doing something for a
What?
second.
What are you doing?
Give me a second. I'm breaking your game. Why? Yeah, no, it's I was just curious to see, and sure enough, yeah. I mean, even against a 6, well, I'm not going to judge it. As a matter of fact, when we come around the top of the turn, we'll play it first edition. I don't see the point of the second edition rule. I want to play it fairsies because we did 2 full turns, but I don't see the point of it. I really don't.
Yeah, and I don't know that it matters going forward, because what my limitation of having to do that has caused enough damage to the French that they can't recover at this point.
Okay.
There is no point in the French attacking going forward.
Really?
No.
You don't.
Because I'm all for you trying your 2 battalions against my 1.
Yeah, but my formations are already gutted.
Well, certainly these are.
Yeah.
That's certainly true. Because I was going to go over at the end of the turn, because it hadn't been relevant before. We were just getting to that point, but where you start talking about brigade failure, because the brigades start to break. There is morale above the battalion level in this game, so.
Right. Yeah.
So we weren't anywhere near it such that it mattered, but it does eventually. I mean, yeah, he's got an entire division sitting over here, but yeah, this whole division is this division here is pretty much a ruin.
Well, there's not much holding it back either, though.
Yeah, but there will be.
Well,
There will be.
I tell you what, we got a little time left. Let's play it. Let's play this turn. Just Doug, your turn through using those rules. I'm just curious to see what the differences are, and we'll all stipulate that.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the problem. I'm not going to do anything. The units are gutted.
Yeah.
So we can play the turn with that rule. It's not like I'm going to charge.
Right, because these guys are shaken already.
Right.
These guys are
Everybody's already broken up.
And
There's
those guys-
nothing I can do.
So let's do this.
The other thing that's weird to me here is, and this has been bugging me since the beginning, but now, because I've just gone off the whole system, it's now an issue for me. But
Sure.
yeah, I don't get the whole everybody can be a skirmisher.
They can't.
And
No, they can't. Everybody can go into open order. Not everybody can claim the benefit of being a skirmisher.
okay, so who can have skirmishers?
You have to have the ability skirmisher.
Okay, so that's a problem. Because, again, French doctrine is should be able to deploy skirmishers.
Right. And all these guys in here. Well, again, remember, there's a difference at this scale between skirmishing and having skirmishers. Right?
So nobody on this map is labeled skirmisher.
Yeah, no, and that is my fault, and I'm realizing, because if you read my post, one of the things I couldn't wrap my head around is what they did to skirmishers between between first and second edition. A bunch of these units properly should have the ability to skirmish. And that's, for example, that's why I haven't stopped it, because it hasn't been a problem. These guys can skirmish. These guys can skirmish. These guys can skirmish. Everybody can form open order. But only those that can skirmish can break out into the whole unit, where they get to pick where they're shooting from, and they get to shoot at whoever they want, as opposed to an individual target that's the nearest. And that is the relevance of those individuals that have the ability to break into mixed order, because they can deploy their units to the front as a skirmish screen. And none of the Austrians have that ability.
Well, pretty much none of the French do either.
forget if I don't think they do. I think some do. I'd have to look back and see which ones. Hang on. I'm just gonna hoist up my book. I'm book hoisting.
Better than petard.
I'm entirely pleased about that.
Hey, Doug, you Colts fan?
Not really.
That did not seem like a ringing endorsement.
It's probably a good thing Luck just announced his retirement.
Get out of
did he?
here.
Yep, 2 weeks before the start of the season.
He say why?
Nope, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, the Colts have a habit of ending up with stuff like that happening.
For those who don't know, I'm getting side comments from my guy, the Duke of Auerstedt. You know, there's a good name. Right. And he's pointing out that in the doctrine, Leger units are notionally, because they could, by the time you get past 1812, almost nobody can really skirmish on the French side. They're just not good enough. But the Legers are 100% skirmish. The line is about 50%, and that is a voltigeur company, a grenadier company, plus the center company. Right. The question is how the game represents that. And the way I'm reading this, the individuals, they've got... And I think that's what you've got to... I think basically you've got to build the scenario around the idea of who here could skirmish and who couldn't. You know, and who can form mixed and who can't. I'm going to save this real quick. Give me 1 second. Do something highly unusual for the benefit of our broadcast audience. 1 second. I'm going to show you something. This very well may punt our guy OJ's dad to the other side of the moon, so forgive me. In terms of ping and downloading things.
Yeah, it's...
You're still with me? Everybody still around?
Oh, yeah.
All right. This is Quatre Bras. This is
Okay.
this is straight out of the Black Powder book. Mouse over these guys. They've got a hojillion abilities.
Can skirmish.
Okay, so take a look at, for example, these Dutch militia, or even this Dutch national militia. It's over here.
Yep. Holy cow.
Freshly raised, we'll talk about that later. That's just a morale deficit. They can form
Column
the
of
column of
companies.
companies. That's a maneuver thing. They must form square if charged. That's an addition. They can form mixed formations, which is half their units stay in line, actually it's in column, and the other half go out as skirmishers. They also can
Right.
skirmish in terrain they cannot enter. So that's the sort of thing they start adding on. So these fellas, what they wind up doing... Stop it. Is this. That's mixed.
And that was my point.
Yeah, and that's what Duke of Auerstedt is talking about. And I was looking, I'll be honest, I was looking to keep it simple because I was trying to teach the system, but I realized I may have taken it. You can't use, it is clear to me, you can't use the basic book and get the kind of results you're looking for. This is...
And that's fair enough. If that's okay, that's where we're at. That's the rule set we're using. I get it.
Yeah. No, and it's more by way of apology. I mean, to be clear. You know, I was trying to do it out of there, and I realized that's where I buggered it up. Because then if you come over here, to our guys, the Froggies, it's interesting that they give them just pas de charge.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're saying is these units can't. And I don't think they can.
Some of these guys like skirmish. 3rd Battalion, 4th Light.
The light
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah, the lights can't.
Which makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so what it's essentially saying is they're making the judgment when they built this scenario that these fellas, by the time you get to 1815, these guys can't skirmish anymore.
So what is the skill of skirmishing that suddenly they lose the abilities?
It's tough to do. It's tough to do in the order.
Is it?
If
Okay.
you're doing it in the open and maintain any semblance of order. It's a practice skill.
Okay.
You know, it's and keep the unit together and follow commands and withdraw and advance and hear all the there's an elaborate drill manual that's followed, and I'll head back in just a second, but the other guys I was thinking of were these dudes, the Pain Landwehr guys. I mean, you talk about a guys that got a lot of different rules attached to them. And that's what you do. Oh, there you go. These Gordon Highlanders that are sitting up here. Check that out. Tough fighters. They can lie down. They must form square. They form the column of companies. Mixed formation. Can skirmish. They get first fire. They can form steady line, 4 deep line. But the strange thing is, they can never form attack column.
Which is totally appropriate.
Yeah.
British doctrine is to never form attack column.
Right.
Really?
Ever.
Right.
I just finished, like 2 hours ago, Destructive and Formidable,
That's a great
which is a survey of the evolution of British firepower doctrine from 1643 to the dawn of the Napoleonic era.
There you go.
It is an exhaustive examination of exactly how platoon firing developed. And the British doctrine for 300 years is to advance in line, fire, disorder your enemy, and charge with bayonets.
Really?
So, yeah.
The British never formed a column.
So,
They
see,
don't do
that previous map you were just on
Yeah.
seemed to me to be properly wide enough to support the troops. This is a very narrow area to have all these troops jammed into it. So I'm feeling claustrophobic with the amount of troops I'm trying to maneuver.
Well, and here's the thing. I cut troops out because there's a whole other battle going on over here.
Okay.
Between over here and over here. And I wondered, and I slogged at this a lot. But I take your point. I'm not going to overly dispute that. No, all right. Well, very good. So I absolutely take Doug's point about not wanting to press this matter too hardly or too hard.
No, yeah.
I get that completely. So we will figure out what we will have at next, whether it be a black powder piece or whether it be something else entirely. But I think
so. This was interesting. These were interesting rules. It was.
Yeah, I like them a lot. I think like anything, and as I say, I don't mind saying I think I did them a measure of an injustice, because I think they are better when they are allowed to be one. And look, Doug's point. If you look at the Little Wars review of it online, the main critic of it is if you play the main critic in that review says, if you play it out of the book, I believe Doug's phrase was, you're just pushing tin around.
Yeah.
And he resented the fact that to get to where we are here, you've got to have supplements. You know, he said basically you can't play the game out of the box. You've got to buy the supplements to have them make the kind of sense. So.
Well, yeah, but that allows people to have different things, right? It allows people to just buy them and push tin.
And there are people that are going to want to do that.
Yeah.
And there are people that are going to want the armies to be, I mean, we all know that you could sit down with a bunch of people and immediately end up in a situation of, because these armies aren't identical, this game is not balanced.
Yes, exactly.
Oh yes.
Right?
Yes, sure.
I don't think it's a bad system, actually. I think that it's a pretty good way of capturing relatively simple Napoleonics. I think the problem is anytime you get into rules that sacrifice major portions of what makes the armies different for ease of play. Well, at that point, it's, get some green army men out.
Well, that's the level that you're playing at. People at my level would never have noticed any difference.
Right.
Probably.
As an introduction to Napoleonics,
I agree. It's a pretty good system.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty good system.
But but in Doug's defense, the thing that's really bugging me now, and the thing that I'm going to have to do a little bit of just a little questioning about, is this wasn't something, the thing that started this whole conversation wasn't something that came out of a supplement.
Right.
Right.
It was something they changed in the basic rule set, and I don't understand why. I don't understand what was gained. I just don't. So, and all these other things that are added in are very nice, and I think we ought to use them, right? Getting all these extra abilities and really more reflecting the doctrine, and none of them, by the way, are particularly onerous.
Right.
No, of course
A
not.
rule that says may not form attack column is pretty simple. First fire, simple. None of these make the game particularly more complex.
It's just more to remember, that's all.
Yeah, but again, you're going to see it, hopefully, if I typed everything correctly, every time you put your hand over the figure.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, which is one of the big advantages of playing it this way.
Yeah.
You can see that stuff. I mean, it's one of the reasons I prefer to play Horse and Musket in the Vassal mods.
Right.
Because, I can keep track of all the... Horse and Musket does the same thing, right? It's got a whole bunch of... All right, this unit's got pikes and it's got matchlocks, and it can do this and it can't do that, which is tough to remember if you're playing
Chits
with
on
a
map,
physical, chits on a map. But it's a lot easier when you're playing it with a system that you just hover over and go, oh, it does all that, right? So I think that's great. I think it captures, we talked about this before, I think it does capture the feel of Napoleonics really, really well. And my big objection to that rule change is that that is the only thing I found so far that I think really doesn't. I mean, you change something that's really important with that.
Yeah.
Well, it neuters the French, yeah.
In my book. And, well, it does if you try and play as the French, right?
Right, right. If you just walk up and start shooting.
Right.
Because that was the thing I was thinking about. What if Doug had not attacked you in column, but had deployed into lines?
Right.
Well, that's true. That
we
might
stood
have
there and did firefights,
that
right?
That might have worked. That might have worked, but then are you the French?
Right. I mean, the French wouldn't do that.
Right.
The whole doctrine is Elan and cold steel.
And see if the guy stands.
Right.
Yeah.
See if the guy's right. Exactly. And part of the point of attack columns is, look, I can concentrate 2 battalions in attack column against your line.
Right.
But much to the dismay of every one of Napoleon's opponents up until about 1811.
Right. Right.
So
well,
you're kind of missing a really important part there, I think.
Well, I think when we return, I think we'll be back to Black Powder, and when we do, I think sort of by broad consensus here, we're gonna. I don't see what is being gained by changing that rule. So we'll go back to being able to attack that way. We'll make sure that we're looking more closely at the individual scenario abilities and make those right. The Duke of Auerstedt made a funny comment when I took those guys apart and deployed them into a skirmish, into a mixed brigade. He goes, well, yeah, because that's what a skirmish unit looks like.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
Or a unit that is deployed at skirmishers.
That's exactly what it looks like. And so that's actually where I was going with the Teugn-Hausen game of,
Right.
okay, well, you know what? If I can't mass attack columns,
Right.
can I at least skirmish?
Got it.
Right? Can I take
Yeah.
my busted up battalions and deploy them in that kind of skirmish order and just stand back here and shoot the crap out of the Austrians?
Right.
Because then at least I'm still kind of playing like the French.
Right. Yeah. And that's where, and look, and that's where you get into some interminable debates about who could do it and who couldn't, and which unit can and can't. But you got sooner or later you got to make your choices. I get that. Especially,
I'm pretty sure in 1809 most of the French line units could still do that, but
could deploy into mixed.
Yeah.
No, well, certainly the Third Corps could. I'm not persuaded that any of the guys that, for example, that are under what's his futz? The Bavarians and the Württembergers.
Well, no, those are German units.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't.
Well, those are German units under French command. Well, remember
Right.
the 1809 campaign. To borrow from our friend John Gill's point, one of the things that drives him nuts is everybody assumes it's a French campaign, and it isn't.
Right.
It's significantly German. So, and they've
No, I wouldn't assign those guys the ability to do it, but I would say any of the French line, because we know for a fact that the French are doing it in Spain at this time.
Right. But, to the point, though, you've got actually Napoleon's, some of his best troops are over there. The Guard is sitting over there.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't get the Guard back until Aspern-Essling and Wagram.
Well, but the Guard gets to do it through 1815. There's
Yeah.
no question that the Guard can do that stuff at Waterloo.
That's all they do, right? Sit around and train. But it's interesting. Yeah, it'd be curious. So I'm going to poke my nose in those books and see what they give them and what they don't. Well, all right. Well, I'm sure that the no persons who are left with us have about this very heady conversation. It's what we love to talk about because I think it's instructive. We'll figure something out. We will come back next week and we'll play a game amongst the Saturday Night Fights. Go ahead.
This is an important part of of gaming, though, is trying different systems and comparing it to history and learning more about history. Learning more about history through the gaming, and yeah.
Sure.
Why we do it?
No,
not whether you win or lose the battle. It's just half the fun is pushing the stuff around and I'm learning infinite amount of Napoleonics that I never knew before.
Yeah.
Well, and I think one of the things that I wanted to make sure, and I think one of the things that just based off a lot of your questions and comments as we've played is I suspect you didn't know there was as much actual doctrine that varied between the different armies.
Oh, hell no, yeah.
Right? And
my understanding of Napoleonics is two great armies line up and blast away at each other. Right. And so that's what really sort of that doesn't sit well with me if we're not reflecting at least the broad outlines of that in the system, right? Right.
If we're trying to teach somebody Napoleonics, but we've got a system that gimps one side, regardless of what that side is, right?
Right. Well, I think it bears mention that Doug is being an honest arbiter here because every other opportunity he gets, he's going to play the Prussians.
Right.
So.
Right.
So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I am.
The Duke of Auerstedt is going to insist you read Chandler. I have a second copy. I'll send it to you. David Chandler's.
Oh, I have read Chandler.
No. He's saying that for Vance.
Oh yes, yes.
Oh yeah, no,
Absolutely.
I've read nothing about Napoleonics.
Yeah, no. He was talking about Vance.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You should
My
definitely read Chandler.
My whole introduction to Napoleonics has been these nights.
Yeah, cool. And like
I'll
I
let
said,
go of that.
you know, and that's the thing. And maybe it'll be better. I just realized you don't get any Prussians here at Quatre Bras. That's right.
Right. But you do get British.
Yep, and you get Dutch Hussars and Brunswickers.
Yeah, I mean, basically my gig is
Anybody but the French.
Yeah, Anglo-German armies,
Sure.
effectively, right? And that goes back. Take that all the way back to the 30 Years' War, right? That's what I'm interested in, is the evolution of the Anglo-German armies and how their doctrine developed. And throw the Dutch in there in the first half of that because they're the really interesting ones.
Are there any good books about the politics of this era, about the Napoleonic era?
Oh, there's a million of them. I mean,
Like-
Oh yeah.
Why is he causing all this mayhem?
yeah. There's two actually relatively new ones.
Yeah, there's a new just Napoleon one that
Yeah.
came out, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Saw that. We can put some links up. But the other thing is, and I mean, I'll say this from the French side, at least ab initio, and I won't say later on. You could pick your point where you think it changes. Napoleon is doing what he's doing because all the other powers are trying to take out the revolution.
Yep.
Right.
What-
So that's the. I don't have a frame of reference for why this is going on.
Yeah, and it's really.
Wasn't-
Go ahead. OJ, or
I was going to say, wasn't Napoleon somewhat popular with some of the, especially until he crowned himself emperor?
Oh God! But after when he marches into Germany in 1806, he is greeted by a great many people, including a guy by the name of Ludwig von Beethoven, as a liberator.
Right.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Napoleon.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Is
Before he goes tyrant, Napoleon's symphony that later becomes Eroica is originally entitled Emperor. You know, he writes it for Napoleon. And it's
Same deal with the Northern Italians.
Yep. Yeah, so there's there. If you look at the politics, you know, and you can pick, like I say, you can pick your date how you like, but from the early part of the revolution, the Ancien Regime is trying its level best to defeat what they're doing, and it doesn't get any better when they kill Louis XVI.
Right.
And once that starts, you have a series of invasions. The first coalitions aren't led as such by Napoleon. You know, the armies of the French aren't led by Napoleon. He's a soldier, general, but he's a soldier. You know, so he's coming into a story that he certainly in 1805 and then subsequent turns to his advantage. But actually, you know, Chandler does a pretty good job of describing the politics that he's dealing with.
Chandler does an excellent job of describing the politics and the history. It's, if you're looking for Napoleon in one volume, to get it all, to get a good idea of the politics, the strategic situation, the tactical developments, and then what I think is really the most important thing about Napoleon, which is his operational genius.
Yep.
It is really hard to beat Chandler.
Right. And it's
Chandler.
Yep, it's called The Campaigns of Napoleon. And it's a thick book, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also written in a very accessible style.
Right.
He is anything but academic. You know,
Cool. Send me a link or something.
I will.
It's available. You can get it on Kindle.
Yeah, but I was looking at that. I saw the Kindle with some ridiculous amount of money.
Oh yeah, it's still like $50.
Yeah, I was like, I admit, I took advantage of the fact that John Gill's 4 books, his 3-volume set, Thunder on the Danube,
Right.
and his Eagles to Glory. The Duke of Auerstadt declares it to be the Bible, which we understand. But, you know, we just...
Yeah, if I could get an audiobook version, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's out of the question, as far as I know. I'd have it if it existed. But no, the thing with the Chandler book is it is not a little tome, but I took advantage of the Gill books because Kindle had the 3 volumes of Thunder on the Danube for I think like $2, $3. There you go. Yeah, Bonsai Cat just kicking it out there. So it's oy vey indeed. But even his With Eagles to Glory, I picked up on Kindle for $2.
Right.
You know, everybody.
Yeah. Now,
and just so you know, Vance, you do realize you're playing in the 1809 Kriegspiel with that guy, right?
Yeah.
So we all support.
I will also strongly suggest that if you're going to pick up, whether it's Chandler or any of the other ones out there, the West Point Atlas of the Napoleonic Wars is pretty much a requirement. You really want to grab that.
Right. You grab your Chandler, sit down with your Atlas next to you, and away you go. What? That's not a fine way for a gentleman to spend a long evening? But
if it isn't, I have a problem.
Well, no, it's just
Vance. Vance, that Chandler book is 1,172 pages.
Yeah, that's fine. I have no problem reading big tomes.
Well, it's
of all the history books I've read.
As the Duke of Auerstadt indicates, it is sort of, if you have it and if you reasonably comprehend it, you're going to be fine dealing with anything else on Napoleonics.
Exactly.
You know, it is.
What I'm kind of looking for is an overview of the political situation that's going on.
Yep.
That's driving all these.
And he gives that, and he does explain.
He does a really good job of even covering well before this.
Because there's got to be something, like you're saying, it's the revolution leads up to all this stuff.
Right. Well, and you have to understand that Napoleon's motivation in the context of the revolution as a son of a minor family in Corsica.
Right.
That actually, his father got him placed in a French military academy, but he was the Rube. He was a guy that came from Corsica, not from France. Yeah. He wasn't French in terms of how the other cadets looked at him. And there's a chunk of Chandler that talks about how while the other cadets are out, carousing and playing sports and everything else, Napoleon is back reading the campaigns of Julius Caesar.
Right.
Right.
But the other thing is, I'll give you my favorite example on this. It's my obsession, because there will be one on my lawn one day. This is a model, I get it, it's not the right one. But you see these guns? By the time Napoleon comes to power, this issue has been sorted out. There's this guy by the name of Gribeauveau who standardizes the French artillery. And Napoleon comes along and uses it better than just about anybody in human history. So it was, he didn't invent it, but boy oh boy did he use it right.
Yeah, so I'm not necessarily interested in the man. I want to know the politics of the time. I want to know.
Yep. No, and that's what this is.
What's driving France and everybody else against France?
Yeah, that's what Chandler is. I'd recommend it. If I can figure out how much it would cost to mail it to you, I'd send you my other copy. I've got it.
It would cost as much as the book.
That's what I'm afraid of, especially since apparently I have to send it by sled dog.
Origins next year.
There we go.
Well, Brandt's thing in February.
There you go.
Closer.
But all right. Well, let me
on another topic.
Yeah.
I am sort of surprised that this Quatre Bras scenario starts post Gemincourt.
It does. It does indeed. This is
the late afternoon into the evening.
It is. Mm-hmm. Yep. This sucker is not me at all. This is straight out of the Albion Triumphant book. This one is my wife, of course, drawing the map, but everything is just typed straight up, and This one, and the other benefit, and I'll in my defense, I will say this in my defense: this sucker has had the benefit of multiple play tests by the guys at Warlord,
Right.
Priestley and that. Mine did not. You guys were the playtest team and noticed some fairly reasonable concerns about it. But yeah, this is straight, as I say, out of the book. So I'm beginning to wonder if I don't just want to do first edition straight up, and sort of. I'm now sitting here theologically reassessing all the changes of first edition, notably the bonus that skirmishers got.
Mm-hmm.
That they got that +1 that got taken away. It was said, and this Rick does explain, he said they felt they were too powerful.
Boy, where have we heard that before?
Right, right. And I'm beginning to think, wait a minute, we think they're powerful.
Right.
They're supposed to be powerful.
Everybody does that. Everybody goes on this tear of, the skirmishers are too powerful, we got to back them down. And that they're supposed to be.
Well, that's the thing, is they're supposed to be, so you need to come up with better tactics to counter them.
Right.
Don't
exactly.
Learn how to fight them.
Yeah.
Exactly, Vance.
Vance.
Well, I'm sorry, that's exactly, all this happens all the way through the World War II, every World War II game I've ever played. You're just too powerful, nerf it. No, learn how to fight it.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah. The whole thing that we constantly run into with Tiller of, leash the skirmishers. We got to house rule these guys so that they can't get too far away. Well, okay, let them get far away. You need to learn to use your damn cavalry.
And I will run them. Yeah, let them sit that far away. I will run them over with horses.
Exactly. Because that's what would have happened.
Yeah.
I've thought at times that some of these scenarios aren't really always meant for one side to win. Sometimes you're just trying to do better than what really happened. Does that make sense?
That's true. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
I mean, so I mean, the excuse is, we'll nerf it so the other side has a chance to win. Well, sometimes you're just trying to do something different.
And so there's something, Jim, that you were talking about. The old days were all bad games. They were set up. They didn't do this make everybody even bullshit.
Right.
Right. They just played it out like it was.
Right.
There wasn't all this balancing nonsense that everybody whines about these days.
Well, see, and the thing that I find so puzzling is, Duke of Arstead. Too many Allied troops for the frontage. I don't. And you mean tell me if you mean this map, because this one actually strikes me as about right, but let me know, because this is, as I say, this one is copied verbatim from the Warlord book. I'm confident of this one. My other one, not so much. The other one, that's Vance's comment, but no, that's obvious. It's interesting that if you go to Frank Chadwick's designer notes, his designer notes for the original Volley and Bayonet, which is the parent game that gives us Grand Armée and Blücher and all sorts of other games based on 3-inch squares. Frank Chadwick's notes on Austerlitz are, here's the problem with Austerlitz. Everybody wants to give the Austrians, Russians, a chance to win. And truthfully, by the time that battle starts, it's only a question of by the minute that battle starts, it's only a question of how much Napoleon is going to win by.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And to nerf things to make it quote unquote balanced. Absolutely. Well, it denies what Napoleon's true genius was.
Right.
Napoleon was not a tactical genius. He was an operational genius. Right. And he was very good, particularly in the first half of the Napoleonic Wars, of placing his opponent in a position where they could not win.
Right. The only way to win is not to play.
Right.
Yeah, if you're in a fair fight, you're in the wrong fight.
Right. And so to turn around and go, well, let's make Austerlitz so that, the Allied force can maybe have a shot at winning, does great violence to history.
Yeah.
So what you
change the victory conditions
Yes!
such that,
Yes.
right? I mean, that's how you handle this.
Well, it's the one that always cracks me up when people talk about what are the odds of the Franco-Spanish fleet winning at Trafalgar. None.
Right. None.
Yeah.
None. There is
They're not going to.
They do not win that. If they do, your game is wrong.
Right.
Or you have somebody that is so screamingly stupid that I guess. But if you've got
they just couldn't do it.
If you've got the competence of an 8-year-old, you're going to win at Trafalgar. The question is, how many ships do you take?
Right.
What I'm doing here.
One of the second scenario in the base horse and musket game is oh gosh, I've just spaced the name of it.
It is a historical battle.
It in fact it is a historical battle. Hold on here a second, and I'll tell you what it is. Because I can look it up. It's something more, and I've just absolutely spaced it because I'm too many beers in. But
God bless you.
Hey
OJ. While Doug is looking that
Yes.
up, help me put all these guys into line. I'm answering a question from the Duke of Arston.
Which guys are we doing? Oh,
All the allies.
Yeah.
Just gonna put them in line.
do we care to keep unit
Yeah,
cohesion?
I need the units to stay together.
Get off of there.
So what battle are you talking about?
give me a second here to open up the vassal module. It's really bugging me because I literally just read a book on it.
Duke of Arstadt says 3 cheers for beer.
Exactly. Sedgemoor. Sorry, Sedgemoor.
Oh, sure.
Battle of Sedgemoor, right?
Yes, sir.
And so you've got the rebellion of the Duke of Monmouth
Right.
versus the Royalist army.
Yep.
And Monmouth attacks with 4 regiments composed entirely of West Country shopkeepers.
Correct. I actually just I'm listening to this book on the history of the British Army from that time to the Napoleonic era.
Okay.
And that actually is the battle that opens it.
And there you go. So it's Marlborough's first real field command.
Yeah. Take care, Bonsai Cat. He's heading out. See you, man.
And CBC. I mean, you've got 3 battalions of the Guards.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 2 battalions that were in the Tangiers Regiment. All the foot is commanded by Marlborough.
Yes.
You've got the Royal Horse Guards and the Royal Dragoons against 4 regiments of West Country shopkeepers.
Which goes just about how you figure.
Right. And yet, even in a system that is, I don't want to say simple, but as straightforward as horse and musket. Because horse and musket is basically of very similar level of complexity to
CNC.
Command and Colors.
Yeah. Let's call it accessible. That seems
is
to be
it?
the word.
Yeah, yeah. It's
horse
basically
and musket.
horse and musket is a Command and Colors competitive system.
Okay.
We haven't nerfed the victory. We haven't nerfed the armies, right? You're probably going to get shot up as the rebels, but the victory conditions are such that all you got to do is score 3 victory points against the Royalist army.
Right.
Okay, that's just routing 1 elite infantry unit and 1 regular line infantry unit would do it.
Sure.
That's all it would take.
Yeah.
Because if you did that without getting everybody else destroyed, that would have actually been enough for Monmouth to say, hey, we won this, and generate additional support in the West Country to continue his rebellion. You don't have to balance this.
Right, yeah. There's
Right?
not going to be an overwhelming win.
Right. There's no way the rebels are going to just flat out, destroy the Royalists. It ain't happening. They're probably losing half their army in the best of situations.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because the history of what really would have mattered there would have simply been that, hey, the Royalists took a really bad smack in the nose.
Mm-hmm.
From a bunch of yokels, right?
From a bunch of yokels, and that would have possibly been enough to trigger the rebellion in London and etc. So what's the real history? That's the important thing is the victory conditions need to reflect history, not a poker game.
Right. You want to play poker?
Yeah.
Play
See,
poker.
I'm okay with scenarios that set up that you pick a side and there's no way for them to win. It's fine.
Right.
But you learn so much about why they lost.
Yep.
By playing the battle out, right?
Yep.
Well, I think it's also, as Doug said, sometimes it's not always about you can win, but it's the level that you lose by.
Yeah.
Did you keep the winner from meeting their objectives in a certain amount of time, or
Right.
was there enough casualties that they could not have followed through after the battle?
Right.
For
Exactly.
a couple of weeks, and that would have that could have led to a whole chain of events. My whole comment too on all this is there's a difference between tactical battles like these and operational and strategic level games.
Oh, yeah.
Those are two totally different animals. If you're playing operational, in my opinion, for the most part, you're playing an operational and strategic game, you should be able to win those, I think, to some degree. I mean, otherwise, do you pretty much agree?
Oh yeah.
I see where you're coming from.
That's an interesting insight. I hadn't thought of it that way, but that's probably true. No, it's so anyway. This is to the Duke of Arch. What OJ and I were futzing with was the Duke had indicated he was concerned that there wasn't enough frontage, or that there was too much unit frontage for the width of the board. I think we're good if you're going to allow some kind of depth because it's not one line, right? So,
Right. No, that doesn't look bad.
No, and I've got all these guys here, but I've also got more than half the board.
Yeah. See, this looks more reasonable to me.
No, it's got the width
and
rather than the depth, right?
That's totally amateur.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not.
Having fought this probably 40 times, the relationship of where stuff is about right. And again, the units here are a little bit representational in their frontage, but
Oh yeah.
Things
Still,
are
you need to be
about
able
in
to
the right
maneuver them
place.
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing that black powder does, and there's a couple other games that do it too, is it says we're going to have big freaking units because they're cool.
Right.
Right? We're going to have awesome. Look at this. Look at this right here. Look at the side. Look at all these figures we're heaving around, right?
Yeah.
And because we like that, it looks cool. It does, as Doug said, especially when you're talking about a representational system, jack up the frontage a little bit. Because when you talk of a game like Shaco, one of my favorites, the frontages are much, much shorter.
Mm-hmm.
And it opens up a lot of the space. It's a balance between the fact that you're playing with miniatures and you want to see the toys and you want to do that stuff. And because, well, come on, you guys, I know certainly Doug and Vance, you've seen it. Look at the Kriegspiel. You want to see what the frontages are? There you go.
Yep, there you go. Those are the frontages.
Those are the frontages. And by the way, those counters are way too deep.
Yep.
If they were accurate, they would be about the size of a pencil lead.
Right. The frontage is right. The depth is completely wrong.
Just so you can pick the darn thing up.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Right.
You need some buildings over here for Thyle.
Where's that? Where do you want them?
Over here on the
you
other
put?
side of the pond.
It's interesting. They don't have any there, but I'll throw some in there. I got nothing against it. Like I say,
Hey guys, I gotta go.
Yeah, it's that time. Let me first.
Oh no, I
gotta,
need to get going. I'm zonked.
We got to pack no matter what. I just want to give everybody.
We're just
a chance.
kibitzing. Yeah.
We're kibitzing, but
I know.
I'm going to shut down.
It's good conversation.
I'm going to shut down the recording, and I'd like to say a polite goodbye to everybody that bothered to show up and hang with us this long. Thank you for joining us for this wargame and learning session. And what would we call it? Graduate level wargaming seminar. How's that? But thanks for everybody that came and hung out, and we will be back with another game hopefully very next Saturday. Thanks a bunch, and please, thanks to OJ and to Vance and to Doug and to all of you. Take care. Have a good night.